Hey dudes, Sylvet Soltis, back again here with another episode of Memories of Vanilla. Today, we're going to continue the story of my first Scarlet Monastery run, as there's still a lot that happened on that cold December day back in 2005. But before that, remember to subscribe for more content like this in the future. We're getting down to the final stretch before WoW Classic releases, with only a few months left to go. So it'll be lots of fun to reminisce about what we'll be reliving come summer. For now though, on with the story. We'd just finished up the armory, and were about to head over to the cathedral. Running out of the instance, we noticed that our rogue was sitting idle back in Herod's room, not moving along with us. Confused, I asked in party chat what he was doing. About 30 seconds later, he simply replied, "Gotta go," before leaving the group. We were now down one and without a key as we exited the instance. Of course. Well, luckily one of our party members had a hunter friend who had apparently just logged on, so filling the spot ended up being easier than expected. The only problem, however, was that we were still without a key. Our mage, however, had a solution. "Hey, if you guys have time, why don't we do the library first so we can get the key?" My party members and I must have agreed, as within minutes we were stood inside the library, planning our moves. The mobs in the library were much less challenging than the armory had been, falling like dominoes to our level 37-ish group. Before long, we'd cleared our way into the courtyard, similar to the first dungeon, and our tank managed to get us over to a small room off to the right. I smiled when I saw the boss within, standing together with 3 hyenas. Houndmaster Loxi. Here he was, the second enemy for the quest that I'd ventured here to complete. Our warrior marked them up, indicating that we needed a sheep on one of the dogs. And then he ran in, pulling the boss and the 2 other dogs as I scrambled to keep him alive. The damage wasn't too intense, but I had been distracted the exact moment he went in, so I remember spamming flash heal really hard to get him back up. Anyway, we managed to defeat him, as well as the 3 remaining dogs, without significant issue. My quest lit up again, as it had in the armory just a few minutes prior, and we pressed on. Within minutes of Houndmaster Loxi's demise, we found ourselves in a long hallway filled with several packs of Scarlets, at least 5 packs in total, and I was amazed at how much trash there was in here compared to the armory. Though the enemies were all fairly easily defeated, with us out-leveling them all by roughly 3 or 4 levels, it still took us quite a while to get through that long hallway leading up to the actual library portion of the instance. Our tank paused in front of a doorway, telling us to stay back and asking for the mage to polymorph the mob marked with the moon as soon as he'd pulled. Peering inside, I noticed that this was a large square room with a few packs lined around the pillars, along with a treasure chest nestled off to the left. As I was looking, however, the warrior pulled a group from within, and we scrambled to hide around the doorway to get out of line of sight. It was definitely time for me to focus on my healing. The next 2 rooms followed a similar pattern, the tank carefully pulling into the previous room using LOS, the mage sheeping one mob, and me spamming the crap out of flash heal to make sure no one died. When we'd finished the second of these large square rooms, we made our way out into the final hallway of the library. The long stretch filled with more enemies than I'd imagined, even more than the armory's final hallway. A couple of my party members walked over and grabbed a book from the shelf off to the left. Naturally, I asked them to share the quest with me so that I could complete it as well, but honestly, I don't really remember if it was shareable or not. I feel like it was and that I managed to complete this quest too, but I'm not 100% sure. Either way, we began clearing that final hallway, slowly but surely making progress towards Arcanist Stone at the end. Finally, after roughly 40 minutes of dungeoneering here, we'd arrived at the end of the library. We got our health and mana replenished, charged in, and were greeted with the most epic soundtrack that I have ever heard in World of Warcraft, even to this day, Legacy. If you saw my top 5 classic WoW music tracks video, you probably already know this, but this song is my absolute favorite song in all of World of Warcraft. It really felt as if we'd accomplished a great feat of exploration and were about to reap the rewards, taking the treasure of the library for ourselves as we charged headlong into Doan's chambers. But anyway, that was the first time I'd ever heard this track, and it really stirred something within the depths of my soul. I loved this feeling of adventuring with a group, diving into the dungeons and taking out all of the enemies within. As Doan fell, I felt one of the greatest senses of accomplishment that I'd ever felt until this point, despite it being a fairly simple and straightforward encounter. Quickly, however, I composed myself and braced for another onslaught of Scarlet trainees that never actually came. Doan was looted, and to my delight, the hypnotic blade appeared at the bottom of my screen. I had been hoping for the illusionary rod that Leica had gotten when he ran this dungeon so many months ago, but the dagger seemed a great prize too. So, the mage and I both rolled need. To my delight, I won the dagger, and I finally got an item from a dungeon. Woo! I equipped it, noticing in the process that I actually had no offhand to equip, and I admired it for a few seconds before noticing that our warrior was jumping up and down over by a chest in the back of the room. Running over, we rolled to see who would get the key, as we assumed it was a one-and-done deal, like so many other objects in these dungeons were. Again, I rolled a high number and was allowed to loot the chest for the key, much to our mage's dismay. Interestingly enough, though, the chest didn't despawn after I got my Scarlet key, and each of us managed to get our keys in time. And so, with smiles of accomplishment, we backtracked through the library and made our way over to the final destination, the cathedral. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Memories of Vanilla. To be completely honest, the library is my absolute favorite of the Scarlet Monastery wings, and so it was a pleasure to reminisce about it as I worked on this video. It's really surprising to me just how clearly I can recall some of these events, such as my hypnotic blade, the track Legacy playing at the end, and even that treasure chest that was sitting off to the left. I think it's really a testament to how well this dungeon was crafted, as well as how powerful these old experiences were on my 15-year-old mind. Truly, it's just a work of masterpiece. But anyway, next time we'll finish off the Scarlet Monastery with my second favorite wing, the Cathedral, with all its zealots and surprises. And man, that's a real doozy of a story. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe for more content in the future so that you don't miss when that video comes out. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter, or check out my blog over on Blogspot for more stories. Again, if you enjoyed this, I'm sure you'll enjoy all of those too. But for now, take it easy, guys.